today. I think most of you know of Sam, either maybe personally in some cases or know how he's been involved here in the community. He's currently the executive director of the Don Moyer's Boys and Girls Club here in Champaign. Prior to that, he was involved with the Cunningham Home for Children in Urbana. And between those two organizations, he spent 34 years here in Champaign, Urbana. And he's been very successful. He's organized them and placed both of them that need to be placed on better financial foundation. He's been very successful with those areas. He has established an exemplary career working with children and families and has received regional and national recognition for program development and administrative achievement. His work on behalf of the youth in Champaign-Urbana community has impacted services to at-risk youth, scholarship funds to minority and low-income students, mentoring services, outreach to minority youth through scouting. He's currently active also with mentoring youth at the Garden Hills Elementary School through Early Act Leadership Program. He is, besides his involvement with the youth, he is currently a director at Busey Bank, and he plans he will be retiring from the Don Moyer's Boys and Girls Club within the near future, and he's going on to other plans in his business community right here in Champaign-Urbana, which is great. He is a Division I men's basketball official for 20 years and has officiated in Big Ten, Missouri Valley, and other conferences. And he's worked in both the NCAA and the NIT postseason tournaments. He and his wife, Maureen is involved with the University of Illinois, Director of Compliance at the university, and they have 3 adult children and some grandchildren also, who in retiring he hopes to spend lots of time with the grandchildren. I suppose that's what I can say, but Sam, if you want to add anything else or correct anything I've said about you, you go ahead, okay?
All right. Well, thank you, Bob. Bob, thank you very much. President Mary, I want to thank you guys for giving me an opportunity to share a little bit about the Boys and Girls Club. Maybe even Bob said, if you guys have any officiating questions or on basketball or the like, be happy to answer those as well. Thanks for getting me up nice and early this morning, guys. You guys do a pretty good job of having a great spirit. I like that. I'm going to have to, President Mary, I'm going to have to do something that Bob mentioned, my officiating background and the years I spent running up and down basketball courts chasing tall guys. So I'm going to have to do something when I talk here that an official is never supposed to do, and that's put on some glasses. So in order for me to see. So I had a number of coaches over the years tell me I should have done that a long time ago. So, but that's okay. It's a pleasure to be here and talk with you. I won't take too long. Want to just bring you up to date on things at the Boys and Girls Club and how things are going here and things like that. It's really just in talking about the club and what takes place here. Bob mentioned my years at Cunningham Children's Home, and I spent over 20 years, at Cunningham. I've been here at the Boys and Girls Club a little over 9 years now, and as Bob mentioned, I'll be retiring in June to move on to some other things. But, you know, so having the opportunity to be a part of two really fantastic organizations and organizations that mean so much to the community has really been a blessing and an honor for me. When it comes to the work of the two organizations, you know, both have such special missions. And Cunningham, of course, being around for over 100 years in the community, over 120, I believe now. And the Boys and Girls Club being around for over 50 years in the community. So I think it's a testimony to the commitment of both organizations to help youth, particularly youth who are struggling, and the support of the community and the people who've been involved with both organizations over the years to really help do some special things. And I remember my days of being at Cunningham, you know, and if you guys know Cunningham works with some really troubled situation. The work there where kids have to be taken often out of abused and neglected situations and need another place to live, need a safe place, need to you know, be taken out of some very tough situations as a result of being in those situations. As long as they have mental issues and emotional issues and things like that that needed to be worked on. And boy, that was really, really tough, you know, as far as helping in those types of situations and others in particular. But again, really did a good job as an organization helping kids in those situations. But I remember being there and often and talking with the staff, we would often say, man, I wish we could have got that boy when he was 9 years old and been able to intervene in his life. Or wouldn't it have been great if we could have worked with that young girl when she was 10 or 11, so that we could kind of get to some of those issues earlier on or deal with that family at an earlier state. And I think one of the things that really has kind of helped me come full circle in my work and commitment with youth is that's exactly what Don Moyer Boys and Girls Club allows us to do. The Boys and Girls Club mission and special, unique opportunity and placement in our community to impact the lives of kids who may be troubled and families who may have issues is we get a chance to get those kids when they're 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. We have an opportunity to kind of get involved in their lives, get connected with those families, those mothers, sometimes those grandparents that are raising kids, and have that opportunity to, where possible, make an impact early on, you know. And that allows us in our community to have an organization that may be there to maybe prevent a kid from having to be taken out of a home or going to a residential setting or things getting to the point where emotionally and mental health wise, you know, things have really gone down the line. So I see, I think I saw was Mary Hodson. She here, you know, Mary in particular knows, you know, from a Cunningham standpoint, how important that is. And that's one of the reasons why Cunningham, as well, we began to develop programs where we could intervene with families and be there for families before things got so far down the road. So I think one of the things I like to share about the unique placement of the Boys and Girls Club in our community is that that aspect of working with kids in those early stages. One of the things I like to do when I get in front of a group, COVID and Zoom kind of prevents us from connecting personally here. But one of the things I like, we have Thanksgiving coming up, you know, and when I think about what we do from a Thanksgiving standpoint, when we get together with families, this year may be totally different for a lot of us as far as that goes. But what happens? I want to ask you, let's just think a little bit about what happens when we get together over Thanksgiving, and we have family come together. Do you kind of notice when you think back we always go to my mom's house up in the Chicago area, and there's about 40 people there. I've got six brothers and sisters. We all have kids. We got aunts and uncles come in. But I always remember walking in the door, and when that door opens, the first thing that happens, is a smile on my face. You know, seeing the relatives enter in there, seeing my mom, who you don't see every day. That smile is just almost instantaneous when that door opens and you see people. And when you think about it, and you get in, you're sitting down, talking, you're telling those jokes, you're talking about what's been happening throughout the year with people that you may see on and off, things like that. That kind of always kind of lifts me up, kind of perks you up. You just kind of get just more energized, in those situations. You get uplifted. And then when you go, we're sitting around the table. We have a tradition in our family where we hold hands for that prayer before we eat, and just get come together and pray. And during that time, if you have a similar tradition, don't you kind of feel more connected when we have those hands and we have that prayer? We feel more connected with, even here, with reflections and things like that we do at Rotary. Well, I share that with you and get you to think about that as I talk about the Boys and Girls Club, because really that's what we do at the Boys and Girls Club every day. Every day at the Boys and Girls Club, when kids are able to walk through our doors, and we're continuing to do that today, even in the midst of these troubled times. The Boys and Girls Club is here, the staff, the volunteers, what we do. We're really here to put smiles on the faces of kids who come into the door and open that door just like at Thanksgiving, who sometimes don't have a lot to smile about, who in many cases, have situations where it's difficult for them to smile sometimes. We're here to help them learn how to smile, give them something to smile about. Just like we do at Thanksgiving, when you think about what happens to us and our families at Thanksgiving, we're here when the kids come through the programs and what happens during the day, the activities, we're here very similarly to uplift, just like we do during those times when we come together at families and we talk and we reminisce and we share feelings. We uplift those lives of the kids when they come into the club to work on whatever academic support we're providing, the activities that we do, the mentoring. It's about uplifting those lives. And when you think about it, and we come together and the relationships that are built, the people who are here in the club for the kids as they come in, we're here also, just like during that time at Thanksgiving when we hold hands and pray, we're here to let the kids know that they are connected, connected to a community, connected with people who care, connected in a way that they're not alone out there, that there are people here. And so as I thought about in this time of Zoom, as opposed to being together, of how to just kind of relay without taking 2 hours, President Mary, I'm going to cut it short. I thought that kind of analogy would kind of give a feeling of what the Boys and Girls Club is all about, what we try to do, and what the mission is about. It's about that, helping put smiles on kids' faces, helping to uplift, and really helping to connect. How do we do that? The mission of the Boys and Girls Club really is to enable all youth, particularly those youth who need it most, to realize their potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. And that mission really encompasses us being able to do that with activities and programs that are designed to really kind of provide a youth development, help them develop their lives, a youth development focus that helps them to realize that potential. And that's done in various ways. Here at the Boys and Girls Club, Boys and Girls Club is we're actually part of a federation, the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. We're part of a federation of over 400 Boys and Girls Clubs across the nation. And like many of the social service, particularly youth organizations, it was an effort that grew in the late 1800s, early 1900s of providing at that time support for kids who, particularly orphan kids and kids in communities with, very few opportunities to be engaged in positive activities. Clubs across the country. At that time, it was the boys club, not boys and girls. People came together and said, we need a place for kids to come. And so out of that movement grew boys clubs across the country. And then in the late 1970s, early 1980s, the girls clubs and boys clubs came together, and now we are the Boys and Girls Clubs of America with over 400 organizations across the country. Don Moyer Boys and Girls Club, we still are our own separate entity with our board of directors. And so that is still the case, but we are connected with a national organization, which is very supportive with the development of programs and services, staff training, things along those lines, which really helps us carry out the work in a best practice way. The kids at the Boys and Girls Club come to us from across Champaign, Urbana, and Rantoul today. I'll talk about that a little bit. And today we work with kids from ages 5, 6 in that range, all the way through high school. So all the way through 18. So that's our demographic. About 70% of the kids that we work with on a daily basis are in that 3rd grade to 8th grade range. And as you can see, that's where getting those kids young at an early stage really comes into play. We really try to focus on that. And then we try to carry and connect with them into the high school years as much as possible. Of course, as you know, as kids get older, they get involved with other activities, sports, work, things like that. So things matriculate, and those are positive. And what the club does is really sets a stage for them making positive choices along the way when they're 10, 11, 12 years old, so that when they do get into those ages of 14, 15, 16, they choose to make those positive choices for what the activities that they're going to be involved with. Most of our kids, I mentioned kids, our mission is to serve all kids, but particularly those who need us most. And those who need us most in our community are kids who come from low-income family situations, single-parent homes. Close to 70% of the kids that we work with come from single-parent homes. About the same number, we work with about 70% African-American youth. We're beginning to work with more and more Latino youth that are in our community. And about 80% of our kids are from low to moderate income family situations. So we make a special effort to really work with those kids who may not be the kids that are able to go to the YMCA. They may not be the kids who are able to even participate in some of the park district programs and services that are out there that are fee-based. And while I'm talking about that, our membership for the year is $20 is what we charge for a member. That's for everything, not $20 a month, not $20 a week, not $20 a month, but $20 a year. And we really do that so that families can have some skin in the game, so to speak, so that they can give families give a mom or a mom and dad or a grandmother to have an investment in their kids' activities and things like that. And we find that to be very helpful in terms of getting that engagement from the family side. But that's what we do. Our mission is to be here and not have a model of where kids have to pay for services, pay to be in this program or pay to be in that, but a $20 membership. So our summer program is when we with an all-day summer program that we have, we do have a $150 fee for the summer, a total summer, because of the expanded services and things like that. But I think, as most of you guys might know, most of the folks I see on the call here probably had kids or grandkids. That's about $150 a week for much of the programs in the summer that with the camps and things like that that take place. So we really provide services on a much reduced cost or at no cost. And for a small percentage, most of our families really want to be engaged in things like that and invest in their kids. But for a small percentage of kids who and families who they don't have any resources, we never turned down a kid as a result for not being able to pay either that membership fee of $20 or some summer fee. We find a way through our generous donors to have opportunities and scholarships for those kids to come in. Over the past couple of years, we've been serving that here at the club with all of our programs, both members and non-members. And I should say we do have club members who join the club for that $20 or summer participation. And we also have programs for non-members where we have open opportunities. It might be an open gym. We may have a speaker coming in for our teams, and our club members can bring a friend. We connect with other organizations, the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, those organizations like that to have activities here at the Boys and Girls Club. So in addition to non-members and members, we annually connect with about 1,500 youth a year with all of our programs and services. So a lot of activities taking place at the club. Our core programs, two core programs are our academic support school year during the school year, where we work with kids after school, traditionally non-COVID times from about 2:30 until 5:30 with our elementary kids. And then from about 3 o'clock until 8 o'clock in the evening with our teens as well. So the club basically during the school year is open from about 2:30 until 8:30 or so at night. And then during the summers, we have an expanded all-day program where we offer a camp-like activity with academics activities, recreation activities, field trips, wanting to primarily, particularly with our kids, keep kids engaged academically and socially, so that we don't have some of that learning loss that often happens with kids in the summer who are just sitting around at home, hanging out in the community, hanging out in the neighborhood, things like that. So our summer program is really, really geared to keep kids engaged in a way that they can maintain the gains and that they made throughout the school year. So that gives you a little bit of a background. We have, in terms of staff here at the club, we've grown over the past 9 years. And I mentioned that we have 2 sites now. Our core or main site in Champaign on Park Street, and we work with about 150 kids a day at the Park Street site. And about 3 years ago, we began working with the Rantoul Elementary School, Rantoul School District, the junior high and elementary school district, and began doing after school programs at 2 school sites, J.W. Ader Junior High and Pleasant Acres Elementary School. And that program has grown to over 100 kids a day. So all total between all 3 sites, I guess we have 2 locations and 3 sites. The club serves traditionally, again, before COVID, about 250 kids a day. So we're excited about that. We have about a $1.6 million budget that we've grown to, and 12 full-time staff, and really blessed to have 12 full-time staff and about 9 part-time staff that work with the kids, and blessed to have a lot of participation with volunteers, particularly from the University of Illinois and others in the community to help provide the services that we do in the education and career development, character and leadership, health and life skills, sports and recreation and fitness, and the arts. Those are the 5 areas of youth development where we provide programming, activities, support throughout the year, either during the school year, after school, or in the summer, all day. And we engage the youth in those kinds of activities. So we're excited about all that. The future of, in terms of, I mentioned we have, I mentioned our budget, and about 70%, I think that's the other thing that's really unique and really supportive. And again, I always say blessed. The Boys and Girls Club is blessed to have some tremendous community support. We don't, as I mentioned to you, we don't have fees for service, fee income coming in for the numbers of kids who come through our doors. We're not supported by state income for kids who come to the club as far as that goes. And so about 70% of our annual budget really comes from donations and fundraising. And so what that indicates is over the years, the community has really gotten behind the Boys and Girls Club and our work and provided what we needed to make sure that the club is here. And when I came to the club about 9 years ago, I think there's some people on in the meeting today who might remember things were about ready to shut down for the club. And the thing that really brought me back was a board of directors and people who said, we need the Boys and Girls Club. It's important to our community. And if we can put the right plan together, we're going to make sure that the club is here and will be here for the long run. And with the help of a great community, we've been able to make that happen, and just really pleased to have the organization in the place where it is today, particularly after celebrating 50 years of service a couple of years ago. So moving forward, that is about the other 30% of our budget comes from grants. We do have some community grants through the Mental Health Board, where we do some special programming, particularly with teens in that area. The Community Foundation, United Way, very important partner with the Boys and Girls Club. They mean a lot, and they've been very supportive over the years. Our fundraising events make a big difference. We have 3 main events: our golf outing, our annual dinner, and our Dancing with the Stars, which is going to be virtual this Friday, November 6th. So hop on DMB. You can go to dmbgc.org and find out all about that and support. It's going to be a tough year with things being the way they are. We usually have about 500 people at that event. It's been phenomenal. We've raised as much as $300,000 at that event. That's our highest mark one year. It's the largest, I think, nonprofit of our size. Take out the Carl hospitals and all that kind of stuff, all those kind of entities. Just a phenomenal event, a fun event. We're going to see how it goes this year. It's not going to be the same, obviously, but hopefully if you guys want to hop on and see what that's about, maybe support that would be awesome on November 6th.
That's wonderful. And that is a perfect place to segue into what kind of questions, because I know there are questions out here for you.
Yeah.
And actually I had one, because what about the Martin Center? Are you doing something with the Martin Center?
Yeah, I was just going to share that, Mary. As far as the future of the club, the Martin Center, which is a partnership with the Champaign Park District, is going to be an exciting new opportunity for the Boys and Girls Club. That is going to be a new center that's going to be built on North Market Street, right next to Human Kinetics Park. And it's going to really be a community center that will be available to people, particularly who may not have, again, the kind of access to other centers that are in town. And included in that space is going to be the Boys and Girls Club elementary program services. So what we'll be able to do right now at Park Street, we're there with 150 kids a day coming and going, and they're all the way from, as I mentioned, 5 years old to 17, 18. You can imagine what that's like, those of you who work with kids, to try to program for that age range. So what we'll be able to do is take our elementary kids. We'll be able to expand from about 120 kids, elementary kids today, to over 200 when we move to the Martin Center. And then we'll be able to convert Park Street into a real teen center where we can engage and work with more teens there. So we're excited about that. That's due to be completed in to break ground early in 2021. And hopefully be finished, over the course of a year, and be open in 2022 to be able to do that. Yeah,
that's exciting.
Questions? I went a little long there with the other stuff, but happy to questions.
Sam, I have a question. After school programs, do you have some way to pick up the kids and bring them to your building?
Yeah, Bob. That's we have been very fortunate over the years. About 65 to 70% of our kids actually in Champaign, Urbana, come from Champaign, and that's demographically about just right in terms of population. Champaign schools very nicely, they actually transport kids to the club for the after school program. So they bus the kids over.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So and hopefully that will continue to the Martin Center as well. We don't have the same arrangement with Urbana, and so we have to those part-time staff that I mentioned to you. They are drivers, so we do have use our van to pick up kids at the Urbana schools and bring them to the club. We do get a small grant from the city of Urbana to help with that, which is really nice. So we do have that transportation, and we also provide tokens, MTD tokens, for particularly some of our teens after school, because they may be in an activity and come after the bus is gone. We try to have the kids get here any way that they can. And of course, the nice thing about our Rantoul programming is we hold it in with our sites are actually in the schools. So the kids are able just to remain at school for JW Ader and Pleasant Acres.
Sam, how has the Zoom? How has the pandemic affected programs and delivery of the programs?
Yeah, that's a great question, Charlie. That's one of the things that we're really proud of. We've really stepped up in the midst of the pandemic to be here for kids. Today the club is open from 8 a.m. until 3 o'clock. We work with about 100 kids who come to the club, socially distanced. We have all of the PPE type sanitation, all those kinds of things that are in place, masks, temperature taking. But we really wanted to do that, Charlie, because so many of our kids are in family situations where they may not have the technology. Yes, the school has provided, Chromebooks and everything, and they've worked with us on that. Actually, Champaign has very productively. But, they may be in situations where they may not have the adult guidance to be there to troubleshoot, someone there to help keep them on task. I tell you, a 10-year-old is a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old is a 12-year-old, and they think that they're just going to sit there and stay focused without encouragement and guidance and things like that. Ain't going to happen. So we wanted to be here for that mom or that grandparent who wanted to have their kid engaged productively with that process. And so we decided we're going to do it, and we're going to do what it takes to safely do it. And so we have about 110 kids at the club, registered at the club. We probably have about 80 a day, on average, to show up. And that's been going very well. We actually did that in the summer, which gave us kind of like gave us a kind of a look-see at how we could do it safely. We had outdoor activities and things like that, but we were able to do that so far. I mean, knock on wood, we've had no incidents of COVID or anything like that when it comes to the kids and stuff.
That's awesome. If I could, it's 7:45. I'm going to go ahead and close the meeting. Would you mind staying around for a few more minutes for a few more questions?
Sure.
That would be awesome. So first of all, let's give him a big hand for joining us today. Thank you so much. That was great to get that update. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. And oh, of course I've lost my, of course I've lost what I'm trying to do here. Give me a second. And of course it's nowhere.
He's a real no.
Let's see if we can do it this way. There we go. That work?
Work.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Next week, we're going to have the folks from Developmental Services Center come and talk to us. Since they are the recipient of our fruit sale, they're going to come in and talk a little bit about what they do. And without further ado, Keith, if you could lead us to the four-way test.
Is it the truth? Fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And is it fun?
All right. Thank you so much, Rotarians. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
And if those who want to stay around and talk to Mr. Banks a little bit longer, that would be awesome.